What is going on, everybody? I am the FDGURU, bringing to you guys a Monday MLB edition of my DFS podcast. We have just 8 games on this main slate tonight, not a ton of MLB today. Obviously, we have the NBA Finals starting on Thursday we can look forward to, but as of right now, it's just MLB. We do have a pretty important PGA tournament this week with the Memorial. But let's focus on tonight's slate, 6:40 Eastern lock time, so it's about a half hour earlier than usual. This slate actually looks really good. I'm feeling pretty confident here. I told you guys I'm going to give you a free Guru credit code in this video to start the week off. Hopefully we can have a nice June because we had a really tough May. Sunday yesterday didn't go our way either. So hopefully we can find, a good rhythm sooner than later. Freddie Peralta yesterday was in all my lineups, one of the best pitchers in the MLB at home against the worst team in the MLB, and he, kind of struggles, which is just insane. The Atlanta Braves continue to just steal all of my money. They were the highest team run projected total on the slate yesterday. If I almost want to look it up, but I don't at the same time, of how many times the Braves have been projected the top scoring team on a slate, and they end up putting up 2 or 3 runs. They've been just an absolute shit show this year. I just have a lot of beef with them right now, but let's look at today's slate. We got some decent value at pitcher. We do have a Coors Field game that kind of trumps all of the other games' totals because the way this year has been going, not a ton of scoring. We see a lot of games with 7.5, 7, 8, maybe even 8.5 over-unders. Coors tonight, not to any surprise, it's an 11 over-under. You have Andrew Abbott against Ryan Feltner. Abbott is definitely the better pitcher of the two, so I think the Reds are a little bit more favorable to stack, but you could definitely look at the Rockies too. It is Coors Field. Andrew Abbott could, give up a couple homers in this ballpark, so I'm going to pick some Reds in this video. Try not to get crazy because we all know it's good to get Coors Field exposure. And like I said, there's some nice value pitchers. Zach Wheeler is the top dog here today at 10,600 for good reason. He's at home. He's against a team that, strikes out a decent amount in the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a minus 200 favorite. There is some rain around in Philadelphia. We're going to have to wait until closer to lock to have a better idea on if any of the storms are going to go over the ballpark. But that's the one game on this slate that could end up having some issues. So we'll have to see with that. I don't know if I'm going to look towards Zach Wheeler either way. Skubel's a stud. Tougher matchup in Texas tonight. With the Coors Field guys and some other expensive bats we could look at, I like getting a little cheaper. I do have Kevin Gausman here at 8,200. He started the year off very poorly, but he has strung together, a nice 4 to 5 starts. Really a nice, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7 out of his last 8 starts have been great. Gave up 10 hits to Minnesota, got absolutely crushed, but that happens. He's looked really good outside of the beginning of the year. 8,200. That is so cheap on Kevin Gausman. If you remember last year, 2 years ago, he was a top pitcher in the MLB. He had the lowest ERA in the MLB for a while. He was well over 10,000 salary. To see him at 8,200, I know he had a tough start to the year, but he's looked great. We know he has that 50-point upside, 55 fantasy points against the Tigers, mid-40s against the Dodgers, against the Nationals. It's not the easiest matchup tonight. He is facing the Orioles. The Orioles, one of the best teams in the MLB this year. Their, young talent looks like some of the best in the entire MLB. 37-20 record. Gausman does have the benefit of being at home, though. It's only a 7.5 over/under. It's basically a pick'em. Again, not a great matchup, but the price is right here. 8,200. If he gets anywhere, in the high 20s, creeping into 30, we're going to feel pretty good about his value at 8,200. He's projected for 33 fantasy points right now, and he has that 50-point ceiling. So Gausman looks like the best value pitcher on this slate tonight. I also like Justin Verlander. His price didn't go up since his last 2 starts. We had him against Seattle last start, and he absolutely cooked. Seven innings, 9 Ks. He has back-to-back games with 9 Ks. 3 out of his last 4 starts with 8+ Ks. He looks great. Obviously was injured to start the year, came back a little slow as expected, but now he looks really good. At home against the Cardinals, pretty big favorite, -180, 8 over under. The Astros should be able to give him some run support against Kyle Gibson. I like Justin Verlander a lot. If you have that extra $1,000, I do prefer Verlander over Gausman, but in terms of value to save the money, Gausman looks pretty good too. These look like my 2 favorite pitchers on this slate tonight, just because they're affordable, and we'll be able to get some Cincinnati Reds in our lineups and other pretty good bats. I'm going to go over to my website for that Guru credit code right now, and then I'll give you my 4 hitter plays, 2 infield and 2 outfield plays. Go to my website, FD-GURU.com. You have to be signed into an account. If you don't have an account yet, you can make one, confirm your email. Sometimes it goes to your junk folder. You get $50 in credits to start out when you make an account. Go to the shop page in the top left here. This is where you buy all of your usual Guru credits. I post, FanDuel, DraftKings main slates for the MLB as of right now, PGA, NFL when that's going, NBA single game slates as of right now for Thursday of the finals, cash and GPP. So plenty of stuff to get right now. Go to this coupon bar and type in the date, June 3 MLB. It's always all caps, June 3 MLB. When you hit apply coupon, you'll get 10 credits loaded into your account after, 3 to 5 seconds. You'll see the page load itself on its own. But give this video a like, subscribe. Definitely put my alerts on. You don't want to miss any other videos. I know I've been dog shit really over the last month, but things will turn around. MLB was my best sport last year. We had on record the best season over any other sport last year. It's just very ironic to start the season off so poorly after having such a great year, but all it takes is to see a few go through the hoop, and I'll have all my confidence back, from prior huge wins. So I'm never going to lack confidence, and I'm always going to stick to the process. For the bats, I'm going to just pick on 2 teams here. We got the Cincinnati Reds and the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Reds for good reason in Coors Field against Ryan Feltner, who has a 5.5 ERA. The Diamondbacks at home, it's a 9 over under. They're -140 favorites against Spencer Howard. I don't even know who Spencer Howard is. He's not even in the FanDuel pool, so maybe it's a bullpen day for the Giants. But either way, I like these 2 teams. To start off, maybe one of the best value plays on the slate. Ketel Marte only $3,200. I really don't know why he's this cheap. The Diamondbacks are at home. Arizona is a hitter's ballpark. He just shouldn't be $3,200. 2 homers last game, 3 for 3. He did go through a really bad stretch here, but a lot of hitters in the MLB, especially the good ones, go through slumps. It happens. Looks to be getting it going as of late. 4 extra base hits in his last 4 games. So he looks good. This price is always going to be too cheap. Ketel Marte is more like a $3,600 minimum player. And when he's going right, he could easily be a 4K player. So I like Ketel Marte at second base. $3,200 is one of the lower salaries we've seen on him this season. Shortstop, I think we just spend up on Elly De La Cruz. He's projected for the most fantasy points over any other hitter tonight. Draws that matchup against Ryan Feltner. Should be batting second. We all know that, De La Cruz, his ceiling is basically the sky. His potential looks great. He's a 5-tool player. He's been pretty bad over the last 3 games. 0 for his last 13, but he can still make things happen. Really tough series at Wrigley Field, but maybe a series at Coors Field is just what the doctor ordered to get Elly going once again. I feel really good about him. He obviously has great power. He can steal bases whenever he gets on. $4,500, you're paying a premium, but with a guy like Elly De La Cruz getting most likely 5 at-bats, against a bad pitcher in Coors Field. He's obviously going to be projected the most fantasy points. I don't mind spending up on De La Cruz just because the pitchers aren't too expensive that I like tonight, and I think we can find some other cheap value bats. For the outfield, easy play again. Corbin Carroll was $2,900 for a while. Now he's $3,000. We'll continue to go to him. It's a great idea in cash games to pair Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, the 1-2 hitters in this lineup. They're both going to be very popular tonight. Again, a good matchup against the Giants here at home. 9 over/under. Going to have a lefty-righty matchup. He's been kind of getting it going as of late. He's still not really getting multi-hit games. He's still trying to bring that average over the Mendoza line, over that 200 mark. He should do that sooner than later. I'd love to see him hit a home run. I mean, he hasn't hit a home run since May 7th. Obviously concerning, but we'll continue to play the value when we know how good of a player Carroll is at only $3,000 in a good matchup where the Diamondbacks are supposed to score runs. It's nice to see him, just not getting zeros over the last few games and throwing in some double-digit fantasy point games. I do like Corbin Carroll tonight. He will be popular. He's just always going to be too cheap at $3,000. Then our last play, sticking with the Reds, most likely the cleanup hitter with the lefty-righty matchup against Ryan Feltner, Jake Fraley. Only $3,300. TJ Friedl, I think it's Friedl. He's a very similar play as Fraley. Decent chance he leads off tonight with the lefty-righty matchup. They're both the same price. They're both too cheap. At Coors Field, you should be at least $3,500. Fraley, not a huge power guy, but he's batting .295. If he's batting cleanup tonight, there's a good chance that guys are on base. Guys like Elly De La Cruz, who we will have in our lineup, so we're doing a little stack here. And a guy who's batting .295 is most likely going to hit guys in. He's on a 8-game hitting streak. He can hit doubles. He steals bases. He's just a guy that does a little bit of everything. Again, not a power hitter, but I do like this spot at Coors Field with a cheaper price of $3,300. We're used to seeing guys over $3,500 at Coors Field. That'll do it for this video, guys. Let's have a nice solid night tonight and have a great week this week. We do have an after-hours slate too, only 2 games, but I'll be playing every single slate I can just so we can find a groove. All those non-main slates go in my dub club. You can subscribe using the link below this video for just $1 for the first week. Expect that after-hours slate to be up on there tonight, along with other prop bets and parlays that I like. But that'll do it here, guys. Give this video a like. Enjoy those credits. Let's catch some W's tonight. Until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.